This is Chris Mack.
And I'm Pete.
Something isn't right.
Yeah, something's off here.
You want to switch sides?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is Chris Mack.
And I'm Pete.
Still not feeling it.
Yeah, something's still not quite right.
Yeah.
Hi there, I'm Pat.
I'm Reese.
And we are the New York Shred Shack crew with another... Where's Dan?
Oh, that's what's missing.
Okay, I'm glad it wasn't anything important.
Oh, well, now that that's resolved, here's the honorable mentions for June of 2016.
Answer your phone, bitch.
So June's been a pretty crazy time for me, but I've managed to listen to a couple of new bands here and there. One that's really caught my attention is Wayfair with their new album called Old Souls. Wayfair are a post-metal, atmospheric black metal band out of Denver whose sound is very much like Agalloch. There's a lot of progressive elements here mixed in with their folk. There's even some parts that sound a little bit like Old Opeth, which, as we always talk about on here, is a great thing to sound like. It's definitely a great album worth checking out. Definitely earns my spot for the number 3.
Now, this is only a 4-track EP that Candlemass put out, but I feel like it's everything that makes Candlemass great rolled into one package, so we really did have to include it, especially because they put it out to commemorate 30 years of the band's history, and there's some really good tracks on this, like Sinister and Sweet is as amazingly gloomy as I'd ever want it to be, and the title track on this, Death Thy Lover, is one of the more aggressive Candlemass tracks that I've heard in the past couple of years.
Now, their last album, Alms of the Dead, they said was going to be their last album. So making, a short EP tended to be a loophole to get around that.
It kind of is. And of course they have Candlemass's new singer. His name escapes me at the moment, but it's not Messiah Marcolin, who's the guy who got me into Candlemass, because he's just a big fat guy who's really amazing at heavy metal vocals. But it's still just as great as I'd ever expect Candlemass to be, and I'm really happy that they put this out. I mean, if we're not going to get a new Candlemass album, at least we got this.
I tried to run, but you won't leave.
Continuing my monthly tradition of picking a band featuring a front woman that just steals the show, I decided to up the ante and pick a trio of badass women. With their second full-length record, the band showcases exactly why they deserve to be recognized for their musical prowess. Their brand of Brazilian thrash harkens back to the early days of Sepultura with its ferocity, technicality, and abrasiveness. Frontwoman Fernanda Lira's throat-ripping vocal style is just as good, if not better, than some of her male contemporaries, and the music itself is straight-up thrash. I recommend this album for anybody who's a fan of thrash metal, from Sepultura all the way up to modern day Overkill.
Man, Irene Jensen is beautiful.
Well, nice of you to show up, douche.
What? You barely have enough space for us, let alone the props I'm going to have for this one. Henry Rollins once said of the band Slayer that between each album, the band members are frozen in a block of ice, and when they're thawed out every couple of years, they're told it's still 1981. Humorous, though perhaps not as applicable considering the band's latter-day sins. I feel like such an observation could be better applied to a band like Lucifer's Hammer. Had they more albums, and not appear to be half Slayer's age. Beyond the Omens is the album that would be made if The Town and M. Night Shyamalan's film The Village kept its populace in the 1980s. And if that film didn't suck. Musically, the Chilean four-piece exhibit the best elements of 1980s rock and heavy metal, giving a Hellion/Electric Eye type start with dual harmonizing leads a la Judas Priest, into a feverish gallop reminiscent of Iron Maiden's most ambitious material, before turning 90 degrees into crunchy though approachable riffage a la the Scorpions. What amazes me is the inclusion of an instrumental track so early in the album's runtime, especially on debut, since artists usually leave such endeavors for the latter half of a release.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
While the vocals are far from the band's strongest point, they complement the urgency of and hunger showcased by the album's offerings. The icing on the cake here is the production value, which is raw and underproduced, giving it a sound somewhere between garage demo and label debut. It is produced well enough to allow all instrument space, but muddy enough to question whether this really is a lost gem from decades ago. So if you're a fan of the classic bands from the new wave of British heavy metal, keep an eye on these guys.
Number 2 this month, I'm going to go ahead and pick Bellacore's third album, Vessels. This Australian band has been around for a few years, and with each subsequent album, they've really evolved in their sound. Well, Bellacore have always been somewhat of a melodic doom metal type band, and they haven't lost that with Vessels. On this album, we definitely hear more of a progressive side from Bellacore, and it actually works really well for them. Lots of complex tracks on here, but also really just easy to listen to kind of album. Overall, it's fantastic and definitely worth checking out, especially if you're into the kind of the melodeath scene.
Doro Pesch is the undisputed champion of female heavy metal. She is the queen. She is the Khaleesi of heavy metal.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist. Raise your hands up higher. Raise your fist in the air.
This is putting out, again, another 30-year anniversary collection. This is actually Doro's live performances and one DVD set. It's a 3-disc set. 2 of them are DVDs that are from, one is from Wacken and one of them is from her hometown in Dusseldorf, Germany. And it has a behind-the-scenes documentary called Behind the Curtain, Inside the Heart of Doro. It's basically everything you've ever grown to love about her all rolled into one.
Ways you can spend your lifetime, waste your life away. Many ways for celebration.
The CD acts as kind of a best of compilation of all 3 discs, and it really is amazing how much they managed to fit in this. And it's great for old and new fans of Doro because it's got her older songs from Warlock and her newer solo stuff.
And she has a crap ton of special guests. You got Udo. Awesome. You got Blaze Bailey. And you have the entire band of Lordi showing up.
Plus, there might be the moment where Joachim Broden from Sabaton shows up as well.
Everybody shut up. I have an erection.
That's still so good.
Everybody shut up.
Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always new.
Now, like I I said, there are 3 shows basically from this. There was the Wacken show, and there were 2 performances in her hometown, a classic show and a rock show. But you're going to want to hear all 3 because it's awesome, and we can't even start to go into how much stuff there is. There's close to 50 tracks of music in this one, and you're going to want to check it out.
I was excited for the new Gojira album as soon as I heard that it was going to come out. I was treated to a record by a band that is not only trying to expand their sound, but is making progressive steps like bands like Opeth and Catatonia that, I just love. Opening track, The Shooting Star, is driven by a stomping guitar and drum combo, which should come as no surprise given that their name is a Japanese word for Godzilla. It immediately sets the tone for the record with its immense heaviness, groove, and grit. It also introduces a new element to the band sound, something that has a tendency to polarize metal fans and cause unwarranted criticism of selling out or going soft. Of course, I'm talking about clean vocals. At first, I will admit that I was taken aback by the shift of vocal styling, but frankly, it serves the music far better than forcing a throat-ripping performance to appease closed-minded metal fans. That's not to say the whole album is clean. Songs like Silvera and The Cell use a blend of both styles that really expands the abilities of the band. That, coupled with the use of effects like the whammy pedal and talk box, showcases a band who's experimenting with their sound and finding incredible success in the studio. I really enjoy the direction this band is headed in and cannot wait to see where they go from here.
Rage is another band that has taken the high dive from my passive interest list to my where the hell have you been idiot list. The Devil Strikes Again is the 22nd studio album in the band's 30-plus year career, and there is no sign of wear and tear, exhaust, or going through the motions. I'll admit that on my initial listen, the first track or two struck me in the same way that Destruction's album Under Attack did. The assault is raw and aggressive, and the choruses sound big, but are just shy of being melodic enough to really be hooks. It initially sounds like they want to be more melodic, but something is holding them back.
I'd rather just sing.
Stop that. You're not going to do a song while I'm here.
Finishing out the album and getting subsequent listens in, the catchiness settled in, and I found I could raise my fist in zealous glee over the band's swiftly paced anthemic offerings. P.B. Wagner's voice is another in the slew of German singers whose grit is intimidating yet inviting, complementing the music over which he sings.
Save us from the fall. Are we deaf and dumb and blind? As we mistreat our
Every song is a gem from a band who helped write the formula for timeless power and speed metal.
You could be them.
For number 1 this month, it's going to be Dark Funeral with Where Shadows Forever Reign.
I walk through the night and haunting voices echo through my head.
I mean, this is a Dark Funeral album. It's Dark fucking Funeral. If you're a fan of the genre, you're going to be a fan of this album. Long live black metal. Go check this one out.
Hail Satan.
Well, no surprise here. Pat loves it, I loves it, everyone loves Volbeat.
I love Volbeat. Definitely more rock-centric than metal-centric, but I think it really works for the band, and Rob Caggiano is really coming into his own as a songwriter. If I had to put this on the template, I'd say that it's a step above Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies, but a step below something earlier like Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood.
Me, personally, I love the songs Devil's Bleeding Ground, Marie Laveau, and what was your favorite on there?
Goodbye Forever, because they also have a full choir joining in on that one. Like a lot of other Volbeat albums, it has a lot of guest appearances and a lot of crazy stuff thrown in there. There is an appearance from Danko Jones. I still don't fully understand who Danko Jones is, but
he sounds like a southern rock, like blues legend.
No, he's like a punk guy, and he's really good. And the song they have together, Black Rose, is really good.
No more broken dreams, I feel like a loaded gun. Spinning bullets at your rubber up my control.
But if you want southern rock, they also cover the song Battleship Chains.
Battleship chains, 50 foot long and a 2-ton anchor. I can't move my arms to hold nobody.
And it also features a couple of bonus tracks that are really worth checking out. First of all, they have an English translation for the song For Evie. I think the Danish version is better. They also have live tracks of Devil's Bleeding Crown, and they've got a song called Slayton, which is like a 1-minute instrumental. 3 guesses as to what that sounds like.
Like a giant standing bass playing in the background, too.
No, it actually sounds like Slayer. You could not have been further off if you tried.
Well, usually I think Volbeat, I think giant standing bass and rockabilly.
And I said Slayton is the name of the track.
And?
My God, you are tired, aren't you?
I'm exhausted.
Seriously, seal the deal and let's boogie. Check it out, it's awesome.
Again, sticking with my monthly tradition, my number one pick is a tiny bit on the progressive side. Boston's Astronoid is my out-of-left-field surprise of 2016, and their record Air knocked me on my ass this month. They describe themselves as dream thrash, and cite influences ranging from Alcest, Cynic, Emperor, and Enslaved, to the Smashing Pumpkins and Devin Townsend. They perfectly blend atmosphere, technicality, and catchiness into a sound that is somehow huge in scale, yet played close to the chest and incredibly tight. The album starts with a serene atmospheric feel that fades and is shattered by the full musical chaos of Up and Adam's explosive opening guitar fury. This onslaught continues throughout the record with masterful alternating between blast beats and thrash gallops, high-pitched strumming and thick meaty riffs with plenty of noodling and wankery to spare. The most pleasing aspect of this band is the vocals. It is clean throughout the entire record, absolutely soars in the choruses, and even comforts you like a lullaby. It was a little refreshing to hear this kind of vocal performance over music that tends to have either a mix of clean and harsh or exclusively harsh vocals. To be honest, I think so highly of this record that I can confidently say that it's very high in contention for Album of the Year for me. I strongly recommend you check it out and be prepared to have your mind altered.
Alright, everybody, settle in. This is going to be a long one.
Oh, that guy's a goof.
When it comes to new releases for the podcast and for these videos, I tend to stray away from anything live. Not that I think that they're bad or not worthwhile, I just prefer to focus on things that have actual new material. Of the small handful of exceptions, anything from Ari and Lucassen is immediately under consideration. And like Iron Maiden's Book of Souls late last year, it's likely going to end up being my number one for that month. In this case, you're talking about bringing what is not only one of my favorite albums of all time, but an album that got me more into progressive metal and was the catalyst for the series of decisions that led me to a career in psychology. You're talking about bringing that to a theater setting. And with that, you have more than just my interest.
Shut up and take my money.
I had actually considered flying to the Netherlands for my honeymoon to catch one of the performances of this show. That is the extent of the feels that I had for this endeavor, and for good reason. As details emerged, the project became a dream come true, with most of the singers from the original album reprising their roles. The returning cast consisted of James Labrie, Eric Clayton, Magnus Ekwall, Heather Finlay, Irene Jansen, Devin Graves, and Marcela Bobbio. Those not returning were Mikhail Ackerfeld, whose character Phil is portrayed by Anneke van Giersbergen, Arjen Lucassen, whose character Best Friend is portrayed by R&B artist and previous Arion collaborator Woodstick, and Devin Townsend and Mike Baker, whose respective characters Rage and Father are both portrayed by Mike Mills of Toehider. Each replacement performer brings something new to the role, which is great for a majority of their moments, but offers one or two cringeworthy segments that I'll get to in a little bit. In the album notes, Arjen mentioned that Jos van den Broek had to tweak some of the arrangements to make them work better live, and to be honest, I can't say I've noticed any major losses, especially considering the things that they've added to make the narrative flow better. The reprise segments help give greater weight to the main character's struggle as each event is confronted, as does having certain characters sing lines that they originally did not on the album. For example, Rage singing along with the final line of Day 7 Hope. On top of that, the a cappella segments during Day 4 Mystery and before Day 11 Love are captivating as hell, despite contributing nothing to the story overall. Now, I will obviously admit that there are flaws, but a lot of them are just little nitpicks, so I'm just going to focus on the ones that are more irksome to me. The role given to the medical staff overseeing the main character is bigger than it needs to be, and while they are mostly repeating variations of lines originally sung by the wife and best friend characters, it sounds forced, especially when they sing the lyrics regarding the main character's mother's death from Day 12 Isolation about the main character toward the end of the album. It just doesn't work.
How he's at rest, he finally found his peace. There's no need to blame.
Most of the singers, including the backing chorus, sound pretty spot on, although James Labrie starts off the show sounding a bit stiff. My biggest gripe overall is the presence of Mike Mills. For what it's worth, he gives a good performance, but it is a performance that feels out of place. For every inch of favor he gains, such as his reinterpretation of the primary vocal melody in Day 3 Pain, he loses for his hammy performance as the father in Day 16 Loser, which essentially tosses all emotional depth of the song out the window.
Just like your mother, well, where is she now? You'll end up like her soon, 6 feet underground, loser.
For the same reason and more, I absolutely hate the ending to this rendition of that same track. I never thought I could say I hated something about an Arion release. Of course, I can't talk about this release without mentioning the DVD Blu-ray accompaniment of the performance. Like the music, the visual side of things is great. I really like the stage setup. It is minimalistic in that everything they need for the entire show is already on stage and requires no significant set changes, allowing the show to flow seamlessly. The costumes are excellent. Similarities run between those worn by the Emotions, but each is different enough to keep each their own presence. The militant-looking Pride, the bone and bead straps and cane for Agony, the red and flowery dress look for Love, and Irene Jansen. Due to the fact that much of the story is progressed by its dialogue and not by associated actions, the physical side of the performance may be seen as underwhelming or, in the case of Mike Mills, uncharacteristically jovial. James Labrie seems to spend a lot of time shuffling about confused, like that John Travolta gif. That is, when he isn't getting pushed around by the cast. If you're looking for a good drinking game, take a shot every time another member of the cast pushes you.
You gotta push! Get out of my way and push! You can turn the wheel! Push!
To recapitulate, as a huge fan of everything Arjen Lucassen has ever had a hand in, I can relegate most of my gripes to simply being nitpicks. A legitimate live release under the Aragon banner has never existed, and although he's done albums with Star One, Gentle Storm, and Stream of Passion, none of them have matched the magnitude of the Theater Equation. This is an album, a package, an offering that fans have wanted for so long. Arian and all those he's collaborated with, all those behind the scenes, have not, cannot, and will not disappoint.
So those are our picks for the top 3 albums each for June 2016. If you guys agree with us, disagree with us, or you got 2 cents to throw in there, leave us a comment under this video, or be sure to let us know on our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Shred Shack.
And now we're going to sit here awkwardly until someone cuts us out in editing. Can I go home now? I really need to get some sleep.
We haven't been cut yet.
For Christ's sakes. Do.
No talking. Stop it. What did I say?
That's it, I'm leaving. Fuck it, I'm done. I quit.
But the continuity.
I don't care. I need sleep.
I drove him to the studio. How is he getting out of here?
Yeah, that kind of fucked us right now. We were so fucking close together.
I know. Asshole.
Mosh pit!
Cut it.
Mosh pit!
It's hard to get the script open while bumping shoulders. All right. Greetings, folks. I'm Pat.
I'm Reese.
And we are from the New York Shred Shack crew with yet another... isn't there supposed to be a third guy with you? With a hat?
Balding.
Really likes triumphing and powering? Balding. It's funny because it's true.
Yep.
All right.
It's funny because we're all balding at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm doing all right.
Oh. Well, now that's resolved. Here's the... June, right?
Honorable mentions for June.
Be sure to keep the phone from facing at the camera, so that way they don't see that it's off.
Oh, true. Good point. Actually, my phone actually does go to a black screen when I'm on my phone.
Oh, mine really doesn't. So.
That was good.
All right, so
You should just keep that. Like, turn the phone facing the
no,
other way.
what you should do is try to Photoshop some fake picture on it or something like that. Like a picture of a table called the Hetfield. All right, so I do it again.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Alright.
He's just knocking it out. Then it's my turn and just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
So number 2 is
You don't have to agree with me that quickly, you asshole.
Alright. For number 2 this month, I'm gonna go ahead and put down Bellacore's third album. You fucking
What was that?
I had to even the score here for you.
God damn it. There's
Yeah.
there's no way I was gonna laugh at that.
Ha!
Stupid.
I hit the table.
It's like he's like coming out of the table. Like I imagine like when Hetfield died, he's gonna be trapped in a fucking table or something like Poltergeist.
Someone's gonna buy that poor table, have dinner on it, like yeah!
They're never gonna get any sleep. It's just yeah.
You're trying to burn it down. Fire a woman!
You feel me fire.
This is not what I desire! Ooh!
We are gonna get a table that we work on and call it that. That field.
The next time that all 5 of us are actually together in the same room, we have to all sit at the Hetfield.
The round Hetfield.
Okay, I just had to do that.
Yeah, try to Van Damme it
I
now.
don't know if I can.
Jean-Claude Van Damme it.
All right, I'm ready.
God damn.
See, this is why I'm glad I'm not doing lines today.
Man, yeah, you are doing like cokehead. Chop your breakfast on a mirror, bitch.
I don't even know what I was gonna say anymore. Fucking, I had it too.
You fucked up the whole thing, Dan. This is it.
I didn't write notes this time. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking go in and like that fucking Simpsons episode where Krusty walks in with the lines. He's like, okay, record now.
Everything reverts back to The Simpsons somehow.
Somehow.
Or Vince Neil.
Vince Neil dying.
The eponymous title track. My phone slipped off. Like, all right, just gonna do that.
All right, that's why I got my phone over.
Well, that's
I got a little handy thing here now. You got a nice computer that doesn't allow us to move back and forth.
asshole computer.
Yeah,
You're a.
beat the computer.
My computer says you was a bitch. All right, here we go.
Computer was grinding like a bitch.
And it's on everything.
I was gonna say it's Unforgiven. Is it Unforgiven 2?
No. God damn it, no.
How about 3?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I turn on to not laugh at you. And I turn it.
I know, and then that's it.
Metallica
Like,
poster.
you fucker, goddamn, don't move. Don't do anything.
I turned right to a Metallica poster with Hetfield's
As
face.
soon as
like,
I
right
turned
there.
around, like James Hetfield and that fucking Redwood, whatever the fuck that was.
It's a Hetfield.
I have no view.
Wasn't he even supposed to say like "I am the tablet" or something like that?
Tablet.
I mean,
And then all I think about is like this: "I am the tablet."
I'm gonna keep this simpler, so that way I don't fall into that trap again.
nothing more simpler than an IKEA table.
You've obviously never assembled one before.
I've never assembled one. I've never bought an IKEA table.
Well, let's just say I built all of these. These are from IKEA. There's 13 of these motherfuckers. It's brutals.
He has the scars to show.
13 human shells.
At the food bar and lounge.
I got a lot of Swedish meatballs when I got these too. Now I'm thinking about arguments in Deadpool.
You okay with it?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure it's not in my system right now. Like just Hetfield and Mahogany is not.
Hetfield and Mahogany.
Is not leaving my brain right now.
That's my band name. Hetfield and Mahogany.
One night only with no San Antonio date.
Hashtag I am the view.
Reserve your tables now.
If you won't take a table, will you take a human shelf?
How about that skin mask?
Your bouncer tonight will be Vince Neil. So don't be a blonde and piss him off. He will pull your hair. Oh my god. This evolved very quickly.
Yeah, that is like the opposite of escalating quickly.
Yeah.
Into a grinding halt,
It's
actually.
evolving into the grinding halt. Alright.
Okay.
For my number one this month, it has to be Dark Funeral with Where Shadows Forever Reign. This is their 6th studio album, and despite all the lineup changes over the past few years, this is still old school black metal to its core. Right, I got through that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, so black metal to its core. Despite being released in 2016, the sound on this album is like it's been released in 1995. It's that kind of vintage. That sounds fucking stupid shit. God damn it.
It's vintage. Yeah, well, fucking suck. You're
I
not.
can't. Dude. Alright, I'm gonna keep it simple. It's like really Dark Funeral. It's Dark fucking Funeral. God damn. Like.
Oh, that's the clip right there.
Yeah.
It's Dark fucking Funeral. End of story.
If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself.
Not really. Like Hail Satan.
Smoke, crack, and Hail Satan.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I can't. 'Cause I can't. I will fucking keep thinking about Hetfield. I'll never leave here.
Vakin's performance is amazing. Her, you know what? I feel like I lost my train of thought on that one.
A little bit there.
All right. All right. Well, I lost my train of thought. You're going into like, she is the superior. There will be no others before her.
I'm building her up as excellency, dude.
I know.
It's
but
awesome.
We've talked about her before. They know.
But I gotta hammer home the point that she's the queen of heavy metal. Khaleesi is coming to Westeros. Then she's got a crap ton of special guests.
Yeah.
You got Udi from Balls to the Wall. You got
No.
Udi?
No.
Oh, fuck, I'm tired.
The great power Udi. No.
I got wrestling on the brain.
All right. We'll start with you again.
Okay.
It's Udo from Accept.
Yes. Oh, fuck, Blaze
All right.
Bailey. Balls to the Wall.
No, Balls to the Wall is not a band.
No, it said, I don't know. Udo, Balls to the Wall,
Yeah.
Blaze Bailey, and Lodi.
All right.
I'm just going to drop out saying accept all the other for Christ's sakes.
All right. Which was a classic performance, and One Night, which was a rock performance. What are you doing with your hands?
Because she's metal.
I honestly couldn't tell what you were doing. I thought you were going like, now there's 3 discs worth. Oh, well. But seriously, check out the compilation. It's really good. Yeah, like from the peripheral. It looks like you're going like 1 disc. 2 discs!
3 discs!
Just move on.